We must speak quickly. We cannot risk being discovered. I have made arrangements, but tell me, do you think Mr. Benet's plan will work?
You having second thoughts?
I'd risk anything for my people. Mr. Benet is many things.
Right. A better plan is to use this opportunity to rescue everyone.
And I thought Mr. Benet's plan was too ambitious. Of course, I'd fight for my freedom. But enough to face all the guards? Yes. Even if most don't join the fight, certainly there are many others who have been waiting their whole lives for this. But we should be prepared for some of the synths to fight against us.
You won't be alone. The Railroad will fight with you.
Together, we have a chance. I admire Mr. Benet a great deal. We can't tell him about this plan. I will talk to my friends.
Synth unit, you were scheduled for maintenance duty at SRB last night.
You get me what we talked about, and I'm in business.
Liam, I got you your username and password.
You railroad guys really deliver, you know? Hooking that ancient tech up to the modern terminals is going to be seriously time-consuming. So hand it over and I'll get started.
But I was only...
What is it? Were you or weren't
Here you go.
Great. Listen, I need a favor. Z-114 is working the atrium again.
cleaning the terminal and it switched on by mistake. I was just shutting it down.
Was that a stutter? Have you developed a defect, unit? Maybe you need to be reset.
Sir, I assure you that won't be necessary. It won't happen again.
See that it doesn't. You don't want me to tell you twice.
C1?
I look forward to assisting you further.
I'm glad to see you return safely. I know the task was difficult.
I don't care about who's to blame.
Yes, of course. It does matter, though. If we can put the lie to such assumptions, we diminish that threat. But enough about that. I couldn't have hoped for a better outcome. While you were away, I had quarters prepared for you. You'll find all the basic necessities. Go and have a look.
Sir, we've had another situation. A code red.
What? This is the third time in 2 weeks. This is unacceptable. How could this happen?
We think there was a
Your
system.
quarters are just
We're
inside,
looking
man.
into it.
You're all useless. I'll figure out what happened. But in the meantime, tell the others to be on high
When you're
alert.
finished here,
I
man,
want more
Father
patrols
wants to
and
see
more
you.
rounds.
Right away, sir.
If you see anything even remotely suspicious, report it immediately. This absolutely cannot happen again. Got it?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Son?
Ah. Hello, Mother. Tell me, what would you do when someone has stolen from you?
That's a loaded question. What's been stolen from you?
Institute property is not often taken from us. The group that calls themselves the Railroad, they no doubt mean to free these synths. You've been in contact with the Railroad.
They mean well.
You dealt with Libertalia. That, usually, they are a minor nuisance. I'm afraid we've reached the point where a response is necessary. We have learned the current location of these synths.
I'm not sure why you'd bother.
Aside from taking back our property,
Sure.
but it's important that we act on this soon. We also don't want the Brotherhood of Steel...
Hey, I'll act quickly.
You'll have a contact waiting for you just outside Bunker Hill.
Right?
Deacon's record is the best.
Can I talk to you?
Something on your mind?
The Institute knows about Bunker Hill. They're...
The timing couldn't be worse. Maintaining your cover is vital. But the sacrifice is just too great.
Stockton and the Synths are depending on us. We can't let them down.
Well said. We've never known when and where the Institute would strike us next. We wait until the enemy is in position, then we hit them.
With me working the inside angle, this is doable.
We can't attack too early. You'll probably have a Courser escort. You'll have to take him down. You've done it before, but it'll still be dangerous.
Like you said, I've done it before.
It's a risk.
But if we're all the synths got...
I've been waiting for you.
Sorry to have held you up.
Try and keep up from here out. Our targets are inside. The situation appears to have escalated. We move in, secure the synths, and I relay out with them back to the Institute. Clear?
Yeah, we've got this.
Remember, the synths are the primary objective. The mission's parameters just changed. We're going shooting. Requesting backup relay now.
Excuse me.
I can't believe you'd do that for us. Thank you.
Someone do something.
Movement detected. Curious.
Someone there?
Is someone present?
Oh. What's that?
Hello? Someone there? Appear hostile sensor reading detected.
You know, in all my years, I've never set foot outside the Institute. Not once. Since the day they brought me here. I've never had a reason. But now, this just confirms the truth I've always known. The Commonwealth is dead. There's no future here. The only hope for humanity lies below.
It's not so bad, really.
Perhaps, standing here, I'm reminded of how fortunate I am that I know that to you, both of us.
Kellogg called me the backup.
Did he? I was the perfect candidate. Well, the Institute realized a contingency plan was prudent. It only made sense that my parents should fill that role. I'll admit, when I had you released from Vault 111, to not only do so, but manage to find me.
Sure.
Extraordinary.
Why let me out now? After all this time.
Well, that's hard to explain. Certainly it was no longer necessary to keep you suspended. An experiment of sorts. Would the Commonwealth corrupt you? Perhaps most curious to me.
Well, here I am. Was it worth it?
I believe so. Soon, I hope you'll understand. A future which I hope is not in jeopardy after recent events. Bunker Hill did not go well for us.
We were totally ambushed.
You can imagine that I find that very hard to believe. Bunker Hill was to cement your place as a valuable asset to the Institute. And to see the Brotherhood of Steel involved in this, I will refrain from sharing the outcome with the Directorate for the moment. Speaking of which, it's time for you to become more involved in the future of the Institute. I'd like you to join me inside. I'll be waiting. I've seen enough. It's time to go back in.
When I get off duty. Soldier?
If it looks dead, put one more in its head for good measure.
If you're looking for ammunition or weapons,
Excuse me, Proctor Teagan.
might have
What can I get for you today?
Set me up?
All of my weapons are mission ready.
Put two in the head and they'll stay dead. Advice to live by.
You haven't lived until you've tipped a Brahmin with a vertibird. Now that's a challenge.
You believe synths are replacing humans with exact duplicates? Make me sick. Don't despair, sister. We're here to save the Commonwealth. Human-looking synths are the worst. They hide in plain sight.
Excuse me, Proctor Quinlan.
Ah, Knight. You
I found some technical documents for you.
Splendid. Here are the caps that I promised. Remember.
Let's get this directorate meeting over with before we speak further.
Call this a clean floor. Are your visual receptors malfunctioning? Can you not see the grime and dust?
My apologies, sir. I was issued a defective cleansing unit.
Don't make excuses. You're clearly defective, and I intend to report this. Perhaps after you've been disassembled, we can use your components to make something that's actually useful.
Yes, sir.
Good, we're all here. I think it's time we begin.
Sir, excuse me, but what exactly is she doing here?
I will address that issue. But there are other subjects that require our attention first. The level of unrest in the Commonwealth continues to rise, as we're all aware. Your report.
All Institute facilities remain completely secure with the exception of one notable breach. Otherwise, internally, things are as tight as they've ever been. Dr. Ayo has been keeping an eye on things topside.
Yes, Watchers show no additional threats beyond those previously identified. We're still monitoring the increased activity around Fort Independence, but there are no immediate signs we should be concerned. Boston International Airport remains occupied, with Brotherhood presence noted at several other points throughout the Commonwealth. Intelligence suggests that this railroad continues to operate and is becoming more ambitious. SRB agents are monitoring all known situations, sir.
Very good, thank you. It's clear that our safety needs to be the primary concern going forward. To that end, where are we on Phase 3?
Sir, are you sure this is the time to be discussing it? Given, well, considering all parties present?
Ah, yes, that's true. Have you heard anything about Phase 3?
I don't think so.
It's all right. I wouldn't expect you to have. Power is, as I'm sure you've seen above ground, a very valuable commodity. I'm not talking about some abstract concept of control. I mean real, tangible power. The kind that keeps the lights on. With every advance the Institute makes, our need for raw power increases. Many compromises and sacrifices have been made over the years to allow progress to continue.
What kind of compromises?
We have at times had to rely on drawing power from above-ground installations. But no longer. Phase 3 is simply the activation of a nuclear reactor that can provide enough power to the Institute now and forever. It will ensure not just our survival, but our prosperity.
Sounds like an important step.
Well, that's an understatement. The reactor is close to ready, but recent tests have determined we have a few tasks ahead of us. Thus, we come to Phase 3, and to how you will help.
Sir?
Yes, Dr. Ayo. Previously, we would rely on Kellogg for above-ground operations, yes? Well, he is gone. While I am not overly fond of putting my own mother in harm's way, she has proven more than capable of handling herself.
Yes, but...
This is not a matter for debate. Now, there is one more subject that requires discussion.
I don't know that this is the time.
Dr. Holdren, it is time.
Right.
As I'm sure several of you are already aware, I have been under Dr. Volkert's care for some time. I'm sorry, this is difficult for me. Our best efforts have failed. I'm sorry to say I am dying.
What? Please, be serious.
Everyone, please. I am sorry. This is not how I wanted to tell you, but we're running out of time.
You're dying?
I'm afraid so. A very aggressive form of cancer. We can talk more later. The Institute cannot survive without leadership. To that end, I am naming my mother as my successor.
Oh, boy.
You can't be serious!
Really?
Seems a poor choice.
How can you possibly justify this? She isn't one of us. She isn't even a scientist.
Ignoring your borderline, insubordinate tone, I will simply say this. The Institute has enough scientists. What it needs is a leader. I believe my mother has already proven herself more than capable in that regard. This will conclude this meeting.
Unit B592 is undergoing the reclamation process as we speak. Before long, he'll be back in the workforce.
I had no idea.
I know this is... well, it's a lot to take in at once. I'm sorry, Mother. I hope it wasn't too presumptuous of me to put you in charge without even asking first.
I can do the job.
Of course you can. There's no question that some of the Directorate and the Institute at large will need reassurances about your appointment. There are hard decisions ahead. hope you realize how important mass fusion is.
Unit X688 speaks highly of your combat skills.
Busy day for you, isn't it? Well, it's about to get busier.
Sure. I need some details here.
Of course, that's why we're talking. Recent events have upset our timetable. We're going to have to cut some corners. You're going to the mass fusion building to acquire a beryllium agitator for us.
Consider it done.
I'll consider it done when I've got it in my hands.
No way. You're not going. You'd be a liability.
Well, that's about the most insulting thing I've heard in a while. Okay, you're on your own then. Good luck. Not to put more pressure on you, but we have to move quickly on this. Word is that the Brotherhood is nosing around the area. We don't want them getting the agitator before we do. Head on up to the relay, and they'll get you over to mass fusion in a flash. Pun sort of intended.
Nice work bringing that rogue sample